Welcome back, it's Captain Scott. Today we're going to go up the mast on the harness. I do it a little differently. I have a climbing rig that assists me in climbing. I have this with a set of stirrups, which I think I'm going to replace with a strap. This binds on my foot a little bit much, but it's strong enough. It allows me to climb up. It's tied onto the seat, and then the seat is tied onto this so I can hang. I have a safety line here. This line runs through the main sheet sheave, which goes up over the top of the mast and back down. So even if the sheave were to fail, it's still inside the mast, and that's your primary. Normally you would have something similar for your safety line, for your backup line. I do not have that. Mine runs to my spinnaker halyard, which is off of a block, and it's not ideal for safety, but it's all I have. I have a backup. In addition to that, I typically will hang on to the lines going up the mast just as a third safety. And then when I get up there, I have a separate line that I tie off to wherever I'm working. So it's almost like a 4-step system. A little complicated, but I don't want to fall down and hit the deck. And this allows me to climb solo. Now, before I go up, I want to make sure it's not raining, like that little rain cloud coming in right now. We'll wait till that passes, and then I'll go up. And I'll have somebody on the dock backing me up, just in case I get stuck or there's a problem. I've got somebody I can ask for help, because you really don't want to do this by yourself if no one's around. So let's, what we're going to do is for the staysail, I had to put a new tang in. So if you see where that little red line goes up there above the light, it was set up to a block that allowed me a 2-to-1 pickup. If you could click the thumbs up for me, and then if you're not subscribed, if you could click subscribed, you'll get notifications anytime we do a new video. But my sail is a little bit too long for that scenario, so I'm going to go up to the tang, which is where the line's attached at the top. I'm going to undo that. We're going to add a block to the top tang, and it makes this a little bit longer to accommodate the existing sail. I was trying to get the sail shortened. It was a U sail that I bought. So instead of have them modify it, I'm just going to make my rig a little bit longer to accommodate this sail. Now this sail, it looks very small, but it's the exact sail area that I need for a storm jib. So it works out perfectly, and it allows me to be able to walk the deck and not have something in the way, so I can walk around here very easily. And then this is an old school hub that a friend of mine gave me, and the way we tighten this up, we don't tighten it on the bottom. It actually comes back here, and this line wraps around this winch, and this is how we tension this staysail. And this is a low stretch racing line, so it's very strong, very low stretch, and it has a cable luff, and it spins on this hub, and then there's another hub up at the top. And unlike here, where this has a tube that it slides onto, this does not. So it has to work. You know, the hub up top needs to spin, this needs to spin. It's a small sail. It allows me to roll out just a little bit or the whole amount, and it works great in, say, this sail here. If you look up at how high off the deck the jib is when I'm in rough weather, that gives me a lot more heeling force when I roll it out, even if it's a small amount up there. It's like, say, I'm good with this up to 30, 35 knots going to windward. I can do 40, but it really starts to heel the boat a little more than I like. And then I can switch to this sail. Or I can do a combination where just a little bit of the head sail and all of the staysail, or none of the head sail and all of the staysail. And this has a lower center of effort, so therefore it will, the boat doesn't heel as much, and all this is controlled from the cockpit. So if it's rough, honestly, I don't want to be up on deck. And you got two 60-year-old people sailing the boat, and you know, you get injured on the deck, you get knocked off when you're on the deck in rough weather. I mean, things like that. If you can minimize the amount of time that you have to come up on deck in rough weather, then your safety factor goes up. And that's what we're shooting for. So we'll have this hub, and we've got a little more rain coming in. So once the rain's done, then we'll put this sail on. Okay, so we got it up. Have a little bit of lines to sort out. There's some more rain coming. I was trying to do it in between the raindrops. But basically, it's our safety line. I don't rely on the shackle to actually hold me. I do a bowline, and then this is almost like a rappelling line. It allows me to control my descent up or down. Requires a little more force than a standard rappel setup, but these guys are really what allows me to climb. This pulls out when you let go. It has teeth and it grabs it, and this line is specifically for climbing. If you notice how dense the weave is on it, and this one follows up, and then when I come down, you put weight on this, lift this up, slide down just a little bit, then put weight on this, and then lift this one up and come down to about here. You can't jam them together, but this should only be used. I'm working this out. This is still not a final setup. I'm very close. I've used it now 3 times. So I'm going to revise some things. I'll have regular webbing for stirrups instead of the line. And I'm going to do more of a harness, like a climbing harness that comes around the back on the shoulders. But I like the pad because if you're going to sit up there for 2 or 3 hours sometimes, a climbing harness is going to be very uncomfortable. So that will haul up our staysail, and it'll come down to this drum, which goes back to the cockpit, and that allows me to sail in a variety of conditions, even downwind if I don't want to use the main. Because it's 2 people, we're in our 60s, I'd rather not go on deck in a storm if I don't have to, or rough weather. So by having roller furling head sails, it allows me to operate everything from inside the cockpit. Even in a storm, I can drop the main or just put a storm reef in. I have 4 reef points on this main. The 4th one is the equivalent of a storm trysail. It's a very, very small amount of sail. So if it's blowing, say, 50, 55, and I want to sail, it still allows me a little bit of control, a little bit of forward movement on the boat. Or if I want to heave to, I can use this storm jib and reefed in main in combination to set the boat exactly into the waves and the wind at the angle that I would like to. Well, we just missed the rain, so it's raining now, but I've got it completed. The main thing is I'm working on this rig as it's a trial. It's the 3rd time I've used it, and it's like an evolution, because I need to be able to periodically haul myself up by myself. I'm not in tip-top physical shape. I'm in good shape, but that's a long way up the mast. I used to be able to climb it when I was 19, 20 years old, no problem, but just have to figure out a way to leverage myself up safely and mainly make sure that I don't fall. So that's kind of why I have triple redundancy on the setup, because I really don't want to fall. Now it's just kind of straighten up the mess I made, and we'll do a little shopping later today, and then we're going to head off to San Blas in the next few days and have a little bit of a vacation from work. So thank you for watching. Please click the thumbs up and subscribe if you're not. It really helps us out. It'll help us to make more videos. I've been able to go up and down now 3 times, and I feel like I'm as reasonably as safe as I could be doing this. If you want to send some suggestions to me, that would be great. Thank you. Bye. Till next time.